Ahoy! And welcome to the Boating Hour with Captain Rick. The Boating Hour brings you the latest and greatest essential information about everything that sails, floats, or motors upon the high seas of Southern California. From landlubbers to old salts, there'll be something for everyone. So climb aboard and get ready to sail with Captain Rick.
Hello and welcome out there to the Boating Hour. I'm Captain Rick, and I want to thank you for joining us here on AM 870. We're here every Saturday at 4 p.m., and please be sure to visit us on the web at theboatinghour.com. And now all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, The Boating Hour with Captain Rick. Thanks to our sponsor for our show today. For a healthy gut, the best probiotic on the market, Livia One Probiotics, natural, organic, and allergen-free. Well, Merry Christmas. This is the Christmas weekend show. Today we got Bart Hall joining us. Bart, welcome to the Boating Hour with Captain Rick. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, Captain Rick. It's a pleasure.
It's really exciting. Well, you know, you're going to be the first to hear my wonderful new announcement. I'm going to be collaborating with the new sponsor, Raycom, with radios. So I'm really excited about this because here's what I'm going to be doing. If you're running a race committee or any kind of event, Captain Rick will come out there and work on Mark Set Boat. I'll work on race committee. I'll come out there with my camera and provide you with two-way radios. So that's my new sponsor, Bart. Isn't that exciting? I'm going to be out there helping all the different yacht clubs with their race committees and all the events that go on in the marinas all over the place.
Well, yeah. Well, these guys should be exhibitors in my shows.
They should be. Well, that's going to be my very first assignment is to get them to be exhibitors, to come out to your show. Well, let's talk about your shows. So you went through a tough period, a couple of years where you couldn't have the shows, and you've survived. Now we're coming back with the Long Beach show coming up in January, and, of course, San Diego, and one out in Pomona, right? When's the Pomona show?
The Pomona show is March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd,
okay.
And it is strictly a boat show, and it's every kind of boat, you know, fishing boats, pontoon boats, ski boats, fast boats. Some of the fastest boats in the world are out there. The custom boats, and it's really a lot of fun. But it's like I said, just a boat show. Whereas the Long Beach show, which is the granddaddy of them all, it's an outdoor recreation show. Now there is more boats there than you'll find at any other sports show in California. But we don't call it a boat show. We just call it, the great outdoor experience. It's the ultimate outdoor experience. But then we have Del Mar, which is that services the San Diego community. San Diego is the second largest city in California, the fifth largest city in America, and we're the largest fishing show, boat show, and outdoor recreation event that they have in San Diego. We're 46 years in that market. We're 76 years in the LA market. The boat show we've only been doing 2 years, but we've been around a long time.
That is exciting. Let's go back to the origins, because I guess this started with your dad after what? After the war? Was this started in the 40s?
My dad actually played a bunch of sports in college, and got hurt quite a bit. So he was 4F for going into the service, but he taught theory of flight up near Reno at one of the Army Air Corps bases during that time. They let him go toward the end of the war, and he was back in Los Angeles, and he got a job with a company called Crowd Management Incorporated. And what they did was they supplied ushers, ticket sellers, and gatemen to all the sporting events in Southern California, the racetracks, the fights, the Rams, the Dodgers, the SC, everything was run through this company. And he moved up quickly in the ranks, and pretty soon he was the head usher. And so he goes to the owner, Mel Morrison, who ended up being my godfather.
Wow.
And he said to Mel, he said, look, we do all of these sporting events, but we don't have anything for sportsmen, because my father grew up in Florida. The fisherman, the hunter. And he said, why don't we do a sportsman show? And Mel said, what the hell is a sportsman show? And this was in 1944. I was born in June of 45, and the first sportsman show was 1946 at Gilmore Stadium, which was a midget racetrack, oval dirt track with lights on telephone poles. over where CBS is out near Fairfax and 4th, I believe. And it was really cool, except my dad didn't like the look of the dirt track. So he went out and he had some sawdust dyed green, and he poured it over the track, and it looked great. He put some pine boughs on the pole, so it looked like there were pine trees. It was really good, except the third day in, it started to rain, and all the dye came out of the sawdust and got in everybody's shoes and socks. And so after that, they moved over to the Pan Pacific Auditorium. The Pan Pacific was across the parking lot from where they were, maybe a quarter of a mile, and it was a smaller convention center, but it was what they had at the time. He was inside, he was outside, he did a lot of stuff, a lot of entertainment. It was really a sportsman show of all kinds. And then from there, he moved to Mel died, and there was the partners didn't get along, and they split. My dad went to the Great Western Exhibit Center and was there for a long time, and then went to the Sports Arena for 1 year, and then the Long Beach Convention Center opened, and he went to the Long Beach Convention Center. And that's where we were here. And then shortly after that time, we opened up in San Diego at Golden Hole initially for a couple of years, and then we moved out to the Del Mar Fairgrounds, and I've been doing that, like I said, for 46 years there and 76 years up here, and it's been quite the trip. In 2020, the Long Beach show was the world's largest consumer fishing show, period.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And you missed 2021 and 2022, I think, right?
Yeah, I had a partner, and there were some legal issues, and I wasn't able to do anything. And we weren't able to get to work last year until very, very late, and no one thought we could do it, but we pulled it off. And so this year it's still challenging. We had no database. This was mostly done out of my cell phone from the contacts I knew. Okay. We're building everything up from scratch again, but it's coming along really well, and we're determined to provide the ultimate outdoor experience. That's our tagline, and we have fishing, we have boats, we have hunting, we have travel, we have off-road, we have overland, we have all, and we're proud that we have all kinds of fishing. A lot of events feature like one kind, big tackle, big fish, big, private boats. Well, we have that, but we also have fly fishing. We have trout fishing in the Sierras. We have a huge Eastern Sierra presence, and we have a huge fly fishing presence too. And so we're really trying to be the ultimate outdoor experience to people who would like to be sportsmen and outdoor enthusiasts.
Yeah, last year was a wonderful show. I made it, and I was with the Coast Guard Auxiliary. We had a booth out there. But I'll tell you, I was most impressed with the Mexican government was out there promoting their marinas and their fishing. How'd you get them? I had no idea they had such a big presence. And I guess the government has gone in and redeveloped and subsidized a lot of the marinas, because that's where people from Canada, United States, along the Pacific Ocean go. So that was wonderful to see them. I've got I got a nice little chart of all the different marinas, and I didn't know they were so active. So are they going to be there again this year?
They get presence every year because, remember, a lot of our private boaters take their boats down there. We have the unique fleet of fishing boats in San Diego. Now, we take the fishing fleet out of San Diego for granted because it's been there all our lives. That doesn't exist anywhere else on Earth. This is totally unique, and the circumstances that put all that in place are totally unique. And that fishing fleet goes to Mexico all the time, so we're a constant source of revenue to the Mexican government. So they're very happy to promote because they want us coming down there. And we do. We travel down there a lot. It's so easy. It's a 2-hour flight to Cabo San Lucas, and it's easy. So they're a big part of what we do, and they've been with us for a long time.
Yeah, that is exciting. They were so elegant, and I used to do the 50-mile bike race, and
wow.
I did that, and then I was the chauffeur at one point. and I used to go down to the racetrack, the Greyhound racetrack in the Highlight in Tijuana. So right across the border. I hope it becomes safe again, but I love Mexico. A lot of my friends take the fishing trips down there, so it is wonderful. You know, I used to go
down to Highlight too. As a matter of fact, when I was young, my parents took me to a place where they had this salad called the Caesar salad because it was at Caesar's, and they would come out and make the Caesar salad at your table, and and then we go to the Highlight games. And my dad liked the bullfights, so we would go to the bullfights on Sunday. Spent a lot of time down there.
I did the same. It was absolutely magnificent. I really loved it, and I'd like to do that again. You know, I had a couple on my show ages ago. They were trying to escape the lockdown and COVID, and they were doc friends, and they were each having difficult problems with their significant others. And they ended up liking each other so much, instead of going for a month, they went for 6 months, came back and got married. That was a highlight of one of my shows. They went down to Mexico. But, you know, that's the goal of the Boating Hour, is to promote the marinas and the yacht clubs and all the activities, especially the youth activities at every marina and all the yacht clubs. You know, that's my goal. So, you know, I really, you know, I enjoy having you on because, you know, this is the marquee boat show. I think it's the best boat show in the country. Although some of the boat shows, they you know, you'll see the huge boats, you know, down in Florida, you know, up in Seattle. But I like your shows because there's all kinds of activities. So, you know, what kind of difficulty have you had in keeping these shows together? You have a big staff. I mean, how do you get everybody out there? It's kind of a amazing job that you do.
Well, we don't have a big staff. You know, we've been in the business so long that we have established a lot of relationships. And, you know, we have to remember, we specialize in trailerable boats.
Yes.
You know, so over 40 feet, we don't have them. But so I know every major trailer boat dealer in California, really, but in Southern California. And I've been dealing with some of them for over 40 years. They're friends of mine. And the same thing with the tackle industry. You know, I know the presidents of every major tackle company. So it's you know, we're all in this together, and I'm very proud of our boat section because nobody else that produces these sport shows has as many boats as we have. Nobody. I mean, I've been to all the shows in the Western United States. I've been to most of them back east. You know, like the Miami Boat Show is great, but it's different. That's a whole different animal. As far as trailer boats in a building, I think we're number one there, and we're proud to have a variety because I remember telling one of the dealers who was new to us at this time, even about 20 years ago, he was new to us. They wanted to bring in this eliminator and put it in the right where the tackle was, and I said, you know, you're never going to sell that boat here. He says, well, I got it. I'm bringing it. It's okay. Well, he sold it in the first hour.
Wow.
So, you know, I don't do this anymore because we have, like, Nordic Boats was with us for, I don't know, Long Beach for 20 years. And every year the guy'd sell 4 or 5 Nordic boats. You know, he's making $500,000-$600,000. And it's just, you know, you don't want to prejudge all this stuff. You just have to. People come from all walks of life, and they have different interests and different things, and you don't know what it is. All you do is let them out there, let them see it, let them get a feel for it, and then they'll make up their mind, and it all finds its level at some point.
So Nordic Boats, are those the guys from Canada that built the replica row fish sailboats?
No, they're from Arizona.
Oh, okay, different company.
Different, yeah.
Yeah, there's a boat. It's actually the Norse boat. That's what it is. The Norse boat up in Canada, and they build a boat that's a replica of the old Norse fishing boat. That's a boat that I want because it trailers. You can row on it. You can sail on it, and it's a lot more fun to get out there to do stuff. But when you get the big boats, you need a big crew. Boy, I tell you, it costs so much money to just turn the engine on. And I'm a dinghy sailor. I like getting into small boats and cruising around the marinas. Well, if you're just joining us now, you're listening to the Boating Hour. I'm Captain Rick. I'm here every Saturday at 4 p.m. And please be sure to visit us on the web at theboatinghour.com, where you can listen to our podcast and link to our many guests. As always, we're so very fortunate to have such wonderful and amazing guests. And for a healthy gut, the best probiotic that exists, Livia One, natural, organic, and allergen-free. Today, for our Christmas show, Merry Christmas, we're here with Bart Hall with the Bart Hall Boat Shows. So the ultimate outdoor experience in Long Beach, the end of January, San Diego in February, and then again in Pomona in March. So I didn't know Pomona is strictly a boat show. Bart, that's amazing. That I had no idea. So it's just strictly a boat show. All trailer boats are, fishing boats and pontoon boats and any sailboats there, little dinghy sailboats?
We don't have any sailboats, no, but we have kayaks and like that, like Hobie. We have
the Hobies and the
their Mirage Drive and all that stuff. No, but we have a really good. The guy who helps me with this is Jim McComb, and Jim used to own a company called Rewarder Headers. And what he did is he made fast boats go faster.
Wow.
So he's kind of a legend amongst all these go-fast boats. So we have 2 halls that are just filled with boats that go really fast, and they all love Jim because he made their boats go faster.
Faster.
Yeah.
Well, during the last couple of years, camping and boating were the only things people could do. So it kind of revived all the marinas and lots of people out there in the water. Of course, we all watched the paddleboarder in Malibu get boarded and arrested. Did you see that tragedy? He was all by himself on a paddleboard out there in Malibu, nothing for miles, and they came and got him. Boy, I tell you.
What? What'd they do? What did he do?
Well, it was a lockdown. He wasn't supposed to be out there, and he was out there, paddleboarding, nothing for miles except dolphins in the ocean. And I remember watching it on TV. I think everybody, it was like a car chase. I think everybody that was watching that was rooting for him to get away, but they came and got him and, gave him a ticket because I guess he wasn't supposed to be out there. But I tell you,
silly.
Yeah.
How totally silly.
It was silly, and we were all rooting. We were all screaming at our TVs, hoping this guy gets away. It was nobody within miles. Of course, it's something. But the boat industry, and I know that a lot of the yacht clubs did extremely well. It was one of the only things people can do. Speaking about yacht clubs, did you hear about that devastating fire in Marina del Rey with the iconic Cal Yacht Club? They had a fire at midnight hours and burned down part of their club. It was awful.
I did not hear that. No.
Yeah, it was the Hathaway family, who was part of the Riviera and the Los Angeles Athletic Club. They were behind the California Yacht Club, and they've been there since the marina was built, even before that a little bit. And the Wednesday night race has been going on since the 60s. I hope they still keep that going. I've invited the Commodore to come on, and they've gone, I guess, through some sales, and the county is involved in this now. So I'm crossing my fingers that we'll have good news for everybody, that they're going to rebuild the club and that the activities are going to still go on. But it's a really amazing club, California Yacht Club in Marina del Rey. Had a fire, and I don't know the details yet, but I'm expecting to hear that it was a kitchen fire. But it was a bad fire, real bad fire. But the members that I know that are there, it did not go over to the docks or any of the boats, so they were safe. So hopefully they rebuild that club. It's a fantastic club with a long legacy, with the family. So hopefully I'll have news by New Year's or early on that they're rebuilding that club and that the club's going to continue to forge ahead. So, my best wishes to the California Yacht Club with that terrible, devastating fire that they had a few weeks back.
Yeah, me too. I've been there. I know. I didn't know that it happened. I'm sorry. I hope they put it back too. That would be great.
Yeah, well, the Marina del Rey is a very interesting place. Everything's on a lease. they're all land leases, long-term leases with the county, including the apartment complex. And it was built. The Marina del Rey is built as the largest recreational man-made harbor in the world at one time. I don't know if it still is, but it's a wonderful place. No commercial fishermen, but a lot of wonderful activity, a lot of fantastic clubs, and it's they've got a wonderful. Marina del Rey is a wonderful place to go, and I know that the county has really put a lot of time and effort in the last decade, in getting the leaseholders, to restore and rebuild, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I really hope that club, rebuilds. Well, anyway, this has been fantastic, Bart, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Let's put a link up so people can get to your shows. Of course, the Long Beach show coming up January 25th. San Diego, February 15th, and the Pomona Boat Show, March 1st through 3rd. What's your favorite? Are you a fisherman, or do you like going out and racing? Are you a power boater? Well, what's your favorite thing to go out there to go boating?
I used to be a pretty good athlete. I got played a lot of sports well into college. And one of the things I did when I was younger, I worked on some boats as a deckhand, and I worked on some races. Big yacht sailing, I always enjoyed that. It's grunt work, but I thought it was fun. Power boating for me is where I'm at now. I'm too old to be doing that stuff anymore. I like to turn the key and point it in the direction, and there we go. I've owned everything from real fast bass boats that went 80 miles an hour, to big, slow, ponderous boats that go about 12 knots. So I'm kind of in right now. I'm the best thing. I'm the best guy because I'm other people's boats.
Okay, that's actually the best. I do the same. What I'm getting into right now, especially with my alliance with Raycom, the two-way radios, which is very interesting because two-way radios, GMRS radios and the stuff that you'll see locally, maybe in like Costco, they don't work too well. VHF radio has a problem with distance. As the curvature of the Earth goes only about 12 miles, you start to lose reception. Raycom has got two-way radios throughout Southern California with almost no drop zones. And phones, when I teach the classes and I'm involved with the Coast Guard Auxiliary, you can't count on your phone. Batteries die. You can't see a phone, in the sunlight. Of course, if things get cold or wet, the phones just don't work. So you got to have radios, and Raycom has solved that problem throughout Southern California. You can be in San Diego, and you'll have two-way radio up in Fresno. So it's a wonderful collaboration. Of course, I'm going to get out there with my camera. I was an athlete as well, but I wasn't any good, Bart. I wasn't good at anything, so I became a photographer. I think I played every sport there was. And if you had asked me, if you had told me I wasn't going to be an Olympic champion when I was a young kid, I probably would have laughed at you. But as things got on, I became a photographer because I love sports. I love all kinds of sports, and I love getting out there. But this year, I'm going to be going out there helping race committees at all the regattas and all the different yacht clubs. And I'll come out there, supply the race committees and the yacht clubs with radios, and I'll come out there with my camera. And that's something that the yacht clubs really need people to do, is to come out and help on, the race committee. So that's something I'm going to do up and down the coast. Well, Bart, it's been wonderful. Merry Christmas to you. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I'd like to do a follow-up after the Long Beach show and before the San Diego show. Have you come back on and let's talk about the success of Long Beach and then the upcoming San Diego and the Pomona show.
Good. Maybe we can get together in the studio together.
That would be wonderful. It's always best. It's always best in the studio. Well, that's all the time we have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed our show. As always, we're so very fortunate to have such wonderful and exciting guests. And let's not forget the Coasties, protecting our waters, America's lifesavers and guardians of the sea. Be sure to find us and subscribe on social media, on YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, and Facebook. We need your support, so find us on social media. Give us a like and subscribe to keep the program going. Remember, if you do it right and follow the guidelines and all the safety precautions, there's no place like being out on the water in the fresh air and sunshine in beautiful, sunny Southern California. Here at the Boating Hour with Captain Rick, we cover everything that sails, motors, and floats from San Diego to Santa Barbara. Thanks for being with us today. Please be sure to join us next week and every Saturday at 4 p.m. on AM 870. Thanks for our sponsor for the show today, for a healthy gut, Livia One Probiotics, and now Raycom. We'll talk all about that in the upcoming shows. Thanks for being with us today, and thanks to our guest, Bart Hall of the Bart Hall Shows. This is Captain Rick saying Merry Christmas and Ahoy, and thanks for joining us.